We've all rebuilt a football club on FIFA. It's simple: sell the older players, buy younger high potential players, and develop them into future stars. However, why stop at just one club? Why not develop an entire nation? In fact, there's quite a few minor nations out there that have had lots of success in the past. This gives you a target to try and recreate on FIFA. It makes it easier if you can become the manager of a national team as well as a club that also plays in the same nation, but for some examples this isn't possible in FIFA 23. The goal of your save is to try and rebuild the nation to be better than they've managed to do in the past, while also rebuilding your club with players from that nation. For example, you might try and rebuild Holland, where your target is to try and win their first ever World Cup. But you also need to try and build up your team, maybe Feyernoord with entirely Dutch players, and see if you can win the Champions League. The combination of managing a club and a country means you can focus on up to 5 different competitions every single season, depending on which nation you pick. A few examples of some nations that were surprisingly successful for their size for short periods of time include the mighty Magyars, so you can manage Hungary and also Feyernoord, who are a club in the rest of the world. The original European giants, Hungary, were in fact in 1953 the world's #1 ranked team. Between 1950 and 1956, they won 42 games, got 7 draws, and only lost 1 match, which happened to be in the 1954 World Cup final against West Germany. Under the ELO rating, they achieved the highest ever rating recorded by a national side in 1954. This means they're officially the best national team of all time. So you need to take over Feyenoord, put them in a different league because the Hungarian one isn't on FIFA, so maybe put them in Austria and try and rebuild their squad with entirely Hungarian players. As soon as you get off of the national team job, accept it and try and fill it with your team's players and see if you can win that World Cup with Hungary. Ireland were actually ranked as the 9th best nation in the world in 1994, reaching the quarterfinals of the 1990 World Cup and beating World Cup holders Italy in 1994. Ireland were always teased for having lots of English accents in their squad, as most of the players weren't actually born in the Republic of Ireland. So what you need to do is try and poach as many young Irish players from the English league, because they do actually spawn quite a lot on FIFA, and try and fill up your youth squad with local born Irishmen. While you're managing someone, let's say Cork City or Shamrock Rovers, try and reach the semi of the World Cup, while also seeing if you can get to the knockout rounds of the Champions League. Obviously, Republic of Ireland only got to the quarterfinals in 1990, so you'll be going one further, and I don't think any Irish team has ever gone past the group stage in the Champions League. Before their golden generation, Belgium didn't qualify for a single tournament between 2002 and 2012. Then all of a sudden, they had Kompany, De Bruyne, Hazard and Lukaku all coming through at similar ages, and suddenly Belgium were the world's highest ranked nation from 2015 to 2018. The highest point of this golden generation was finishing 3rd at the 2018 World Cup. You might have seen how badly they've done in 2022. So you just need to take over any Belgian side from the Belgian league, try and sign as many of this golden generation to mentor some of your young side, and force through a second golden generation. If you can sign some older Belgians like Axel Witsel or Dries Mertens, Marouane Fellaini, you can have a solid platform of successful Belgian players. So you get the best youth scouts you can afford and see if you can fill the national team and qualify to finally win the World Cup in 2026 or 2030. A few other suggestions that are a bit harder could include Uruguay. They were ranked as the 2nd best team by the ELO ratings in 1930 and won 2 World Cups and 2 Olympic gold medals in the 1920s and 30s, so see if you can add a 3rd World Cup by maybe rebuilding an Argentinian side with entirely Uruguayan players. Denmark is something similar. They won Euro 1992, so see if you can maybe rebuild Copenhagen with a generation that can win the World Cup in 2026 or 2030. No matter the idea or the team that you go for, you're going to want to focus on picking up young players and of course pumping the best possible scouts in that nation to get some high potential youth players. And you'll need to give them as much game time as possible so they can get to the standard that you need them to be at. Some rough estimate ratings are a team of 85 rated players is probably World Cup final level, an 80 rated team should be getting out the group stages, and a 75 rated team would be lucky to get out of the group. So make sure you develop your players to a right level for the ambitions that you have for the nation. Once you've done a single nation, why stop there? Chances are you'll probably have about 5 or 6 more seasons left in your save, and you'll have made a young team that's still developing for that nation. Why don't you swap nation and see if you can beat your existing national team at the next World Cup? Who knows, maybe you could even face them in the final, your new boys versus your original youth squad. I think that's the ultimate career mode finale. But thank you for watching. If you've got any suggestions for nations and clubs you think are club and country worthy, leave them in the comments below. But thank you for watching, I'll see you soon, cheers and goodbye.